Have you ever felt like something was missing in your intimate moments, even when you thought you were doing everything right? You're not alone. Many men struggle to give their partner the pleasure she deserves, and the secret often lies in mastering the right techniques. In today's video, we're going to reveal 5 powerful tips that will transform your intimate life, ensuring that you and your partner experience deeper satisfaction and connection. Stay with us until the end, because these tips go beyond the basics. We'll cover everything from creating the perfect environment to mastering the art of clitoral stimulation, incorporating variety, and exploring other erogenous zones for a complete, unforgettable experience. Whether you're seeking to reignite passion or enhance what's already there, the insights in this video are exactly what you need to elevate your relationship and strengthen your emotional bond. Don't miss out. Your partner deserves it, and so do you. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. The first tip to creating a truly unforgettable and deeply intimate experience is rooted in the art of preparation and the gentle initiation of stimulation. This foundational step is not only important for setting the mood but essential for ensuring both comfort and profound pleasure from the very start. It goes beyond the physical, reaching into the emotional and psychological realms, where true intimacy is built. Preparation isn't just a practical necessity. It's a way to show that you care, that you're attentive to every detail, and that you're invested in creating an environment where both of you can fully immerse yourselves in the moment. This involves transforming the space into a sanctuary of warmth, sensuality, and emotional safety. Dim the lights so they cast a soft, inviting glow across the room. The subtle illumination should feel like a protective cocoon, shielding you from the outside world, allowing only the two of you to exist in this intimate bubble. Soft lighting soothes the mind, gently signaling the body to relax and open up to the sensations that lie ahead. Beyond lighting, think about the atmosphere you want to create. The sound of slow, rhythmic music in the background can be incredibly powerful. Music has a way of communicating emotions and setting the tone without words, and a soothing playlist of soft, sultry melodies can act as the invisible bridge that connects your body and mind. Every note resonates in the space, harmonizing with your heartbeats as you become attuned to each other's rhythms. Each beat of the music subtly prepares the body, heightening anticipation. And then, there are the scents, often overlooked, but vital. The olfactory sense is one of the most powerful triggers for memory and emotion. Consider using soft, fragrant aromas, such as vanilla, lavender, or sandalwood, through scented candles or incense. The comforting warmth of these familiar scents invites relaxation and subtly enhances the feeling of closeness. Their lingering presence in the air acts as a reminder that this is a moment meant to be savored, slow, and unhurried. These scents ground you in the present, helping you to leave behind the stresses of the day and focus fully on the experience ahead. With the stage set, the next part of preparation involves how you initiate physical touch. It's not simply about touching her body. It's about how you touch, the emotional presence you bring to that touch, and the awareness of her reactions to your movements. Begin with feather-like kisses along the outer lips of the vulva, not rushing or pushing for immediate response. This is a moment of discovery, where each kiss is a silent question, asking her body what it needs and how it feels in that moment. Your gentle, patient approach is key here, as the goal is not to overwhelm, but to introduce a slow-burning flame of desire. These first touches should be soft and rhythmic, in perfect harmony with the soothing environment you've created. Take your time, exploring the area around the vulva with gentle, circular motions of your tongue. The soft strokes act as an invitation for her body to gradually respond, building anticipation while subtly increasing blood flow to the area. This early phase is crucial in creating a sense of emotional safety and connection, allowing her to fully relax into the sensations. By taking this slow, deliberate approach, you communicate that her comfort and pleasure are the priority. The act of tuning into her body's responses is what elevates this experience beyond the physical. Watch for subtle shifts in her breathing, a deeper inhalation, a quiet sigh. These are the clues that will guide your next moves. Her body will speak to you in these silent signals. The way her hips move slightly toward your touch or the gentle release of a moan are all indications that her arousal is building. This is where true intimacy lies, not in simply performing acts of physical pleasure, but in understanding and responding to her body's unique needs at that moment. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. As you notice her reactions, you can slowly intensify your movements. Begin to apply a little more pressure with your tongue, introducing a mix of speeds and textures. A gentle flick followed by slow, broad strokes. A tender kiss followed by a firmer caress. Each variation sends waves of new sensations through her body, creating layers of pleasure that build on one another. But always remember, this is a journey, not a race. The beauty of this moment is found in its gradual unfolding, in the art of anticipation. The emotional connection deepens as you continue to explore her reactions. Pay attention to the way she responds to different pressures and rhythms. Is she enjoying the slow, steady pace? Or does her body seem to crave a more intense, quicker rhythm? Adjust accordingly, but always maintain that core element of patience. There's no need to rush toward a climax. The true pleasure of this phase comes from delaying the intensity, drawing out the anticipation until it becomes almost unbearable in the best way possible. The more attentive you are, the more emotionally charged the experience becomes. You're not just performing physical actions, you're communicating, without words, that her pleasure is your focus, that you are completely tuned into her needs. This is where intimacy transcends the physical and becomes emotional, even spiritual. When she feels safe, cared for, and understood, she will allow herself to become fully immersed in the experience, and that trust will create a bond that goes far beyond the moment itself. As you near the end of this initial stimulation phase, her body will be ready for more direct and intense contact. But even as you transition to deeper stimulation, maintain that same level of awareness and care. Keep the rhythm slow and deliberate, adjusting based on her signals. Remember, this is not just about the end goal. It's about the shared journey, the connection, and the emotional depth that you build together. This preparation phase ensures that the experience is not only pleasurable but profoundly engaging for both of you, creating memories and sensations that linger long after the moment has passed. By the time you move on to more intense stimulation, the foundation of trust, arousal, and emotional connection will be so strong that every touch will resonate deeply. The careful attention to detail, the patient building of anticipation, and the genuine care for her pleasure will turn this experience into something unforgettable. A shared moment of intimacy that transcends the physical and touches the very core of both your emotional and physical beings. To help you cultivate a deeply fulfilling and satisfying sex life, I've made available the ebook Rediscovering Intimacy: Healthy Sexuality After 60. This comprehensive guide is filled with practical advice and inspiring insights to strengthen your relationship, rekindle passion, and overcome both emotional and physical challenges that may arise in later years. Whether you're looking to reignite the spark in your marriage or deepen your intimate connection, this ebook provides effective, compassionate solutions that honor the emotional bonds within your relationship while addressing the nuances of healthy sexuality as we age. The second essential tip for enhancing intimacy is to focus on the clitoris. This part of the female anatomy is one of the most sensitive and erotically charged areas, and when stimulated properly, it can lead to incredibly intense orgasms. However, achieving this kind of profound pleasure requires a delicate, gradual approach, one that is respectful and mindful of the body's sensitivities. Start with indirect stimulation, gently exploring the area around the clitoris with soft, intentional touches. This could mean using your fingers or, more effectively, using your tongue to slowly build up anticipation. Begin by exploring nearby regions, such as the inner lips of the vulva, with light, fluttering movements of your tongue. These delicate touches serve as a prelude, laying the groundwork for increased arousal without overwhelming the clitoris right away. The goal here is to create a pleasant tension, a slow-burning desire that builds as you gradually approach the clitoris. As her arousal deepens, indicated by changes in her breathing, subtle moans, or even the way her hips respond to your movements, you can then begin to introduce more direct clitoral stimulation. But even in this phase, gentleness is key. Start with slow, rhythmic touches, using the tip of your tongue to explore various patterns and pressures. Experiment with circular motions, or try moving your tongue in an up and down pattern or even in a figure-8 shape. Each variation can create a new sensation, helping you discover what she enjoys most. The secret to clitoral stimulation lies in variety and attentiveness. Pay close attention to her responses, both verbal and non-verbal. Is her breathing becoming more shallow? Does she let out a soft moan or shift her body toward your touch? These are all signs that you're on the right track and that the rhythm and pressure are bringing her pleasure. But, equally, if her body seems to tense or if the intensity of her responses decreases, it may be a sign to make slight adjustments. Flexibility is another crucial element in maintaining a pleasurable experience. What may feel incredible in one moment may not be as satisfying in another. Be mindful of this, and don't be afraid to switch up your technique. Maybe she enjoys more delicate strokes at first but craves more firmness as her arousal builds. Or perhaps she prefers a slower pace before moving into a faster, more rhythmic pattern. The key is to stay present and responsive, allowing her reactions to guide you. Remember, the clitoris is an extremely sensitive area. Abrupt movements or sudden changes in pressure can disrupt the flow of arousal, so it's vital to keep your motions smooth, controlled, and attuned to her needs. A constant rhythm, coupled with small, gradual adjustments, will help build her pleasure toward an intense climax. By adopting this careful, sensitive approach, you're not just increasing her physical pleasure. You're also fostering a deep emotional connection, showing her that her comfort and enjoyment are your priority. This attention to detail, along with a genuine focus on her responses, will elevate the quality of your intimate moments, making them richer and more meaningful for both of you. In addition to the physical aspects, intimacy at this stage of life is often about reconnecting on an emotional level. The changes that come with aging, whether hormonal shifts, health challenges, or simply the passage of time, can affect both desire and performance. However, approaching intimacy with empathy, patience, and a willingness to explore new ways of connecting can transform these potential challenges into opportunities for deeper bonding. It's also worth noting that emotional intimacy can greatly enhance the physical experience. Taking the time to share your thoughts, fears, and desires can create a space of trust where both of you feel comfortable being vulnerable. This vulnerability, when embraced, allows for a more fulfilling, richer sexual experience. Whether it's through long conversations, quiet moments of togetherness, or just holding each other close, these emotional connections lay the groundwork for physical closeness. As you navigate this journey of rediscovering intimacy, remember that there is no rush. The beauty of these intimate moments is found in the journey itself, the slow build-up, the deepening connection, and the shared exploration of what brings both of you pleasure. By focusing on the clitoris with care and attention, you're opening the door to a world of intense pleasure, all while strengthening the bond that holds your relationship together. So, take your time, remain attentive, and let the process of exploring each other's desires and pleasures become a beautiful act of love. Together, you can not only reignite passion but also discover new depths of intimacy that continue to grow and evolve as your relationship does. The third tip for elevating intimacy to a deeper, more fulfilling level is variety and diversity. One of the greatest challenges in maintaining excitement during intimate moments is avoiding monotony. Repeating the same movements or techniques over and over can lead to a loss of interest, diminished sensitivity, or even discomfort. To keep the experience dynamic and engaging, it's crucial to introduce variation. Not just in the types of touches, but in the rhythms, intensities, and even the overall flow of stimulation. This approach ensures that the experience remains fresh, unpredictable, and continuously stimulating, allowing both partners to fully immerse in the pleasure. Start by experimenting with different kinds of touches and tongue movements. Each touch tells a different story, and each movement elicits its unique response. Try switching between circular, vertical, horizontal, and figure-8 motions with your tongue. These subtle variations can awaken new sensations, keeping her constantly on edge, eagerly anticipating what comes next. The beauty of this diversity is that it allows you to explore what feels best for you at that particular moment. Every woman's body responds differently to various forms of stimulation, and part of the excitement lies in discovering what techniques evoke the most pleasure. Some women may respond intensely to gentle, circular strokes, while others might crave more direct, firmer contact. The goal here is to treat the experience like an intimate dance, adjusting your movements to the rhythm of her responses. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment "tube" below to let me know that you are still here with me. But it's not just about changing the types of movements. It's equally important to alternate the intensity and speed of stimulation. You can begin with lighter, quicker touches that tease the skin, building an almost electric anticipation. Then, as her body becomes more aroused, gradually transition to slower, firmer movements, letting the intensity of your touch mirror the growing intensity of her desire. This ebb and flow creates a sense of unpredictability that heightens the excitement. The sudden switch from fast, gentle touches to slow, deliberate pressure sends waves of sensation through her body, intensifying the pleasure in a way that feels almost overwhelming, yet deeply satisfying. One of the most effective techniques in this approach is the strategic use of pauses. Alternating oral stimulation with short, intentional breaks can create an erotic tension that takes the experience to a whole new level. During these pauses, try soft kisses or gently blowing on the stimulated area. These light, teasing actions help cool her down just enough to build anticipation without completely interrupting the flow of arousal. The idea is not to stop the pleasure but to amplify it, creating a cycle of build-up and release that makes each moment more intense than the last. Each pause should be short and timed just right, so as not to disrupt the rhythm but rather to enhance it. The contrast between stimulation and rest can drive her to the edge, making her body more receptive to the next wave of sensations. Variety in touch and technique is essential for maintaining arousal, but it's the element of surprise that makes it truly unforgettable. The human brain is wired to crave novelty, and by keeping her guessing with subtle shifts in technique and rhythm, you tap into that natural desire for something unexpected. Each time you switch things up, whether it's a shift in the direction of your tongue, a change in pressure, or a sudden pause followed by a return to intense stimulation, you introduce a new layer of sensation, making the experience feel fresh, alive, and endlessly exciting. Additionally, don't underestimate the power of emotional connection in this process. Variety in technique doesn't just stimulate the body. It also deepens the emotional bond between you and your partner. Each time you change the pace or try something new, it's a way of showing her that you're fully present in the moment, paying attention to her needs, and dedicated to her pleasure. The act of switching things up shows that you're not going through the motions. It communicates that you're invested, that you care enough to explore, experiment, and learn what makes her feel good. This emotional awareness can make the physical experience all the more powerful, transforming it from just an act of physical pleasure into a shared journey of discovery and connection. Finally, it's important to note that diversity in technique doesn't just keep her engaged, it also keeps you engaged. When you're actively switching up your movements and paying attention to how she responds, it keeps you present and attuned to her body. This heightened awareness can make the experience more enjoyable for you as well, deepening your sense of pleasure and satisfaction as you feel her body respond to your touch. Furthermore, to elevate the level of intimacy and pleasure, consider incorporating manual stimulation while using your tongue. This dual approach, combining the delicate touch of your tongue with the tactile sensation of your hands, creates a multi-layered experience that engages her entire body, making the moment more immersive and deeply satisfying. While your tongue explores the sensitive areas of the vulva and clitoris, your hands can delicately caress other erogenous zones like the inner thighs and the base of the clitoris, or even gently apply pressure to the lower abdomen, which can intensify the sensations. This comprehensive attention to her body is crucial for making the experience not just physically stimulating, but emotionally fulfilling as well. The combination of touch, warmth, and movement allows her body to become more receptive to pleasure, building a heightened state of arousal that feels all-encompassing. The beauty of manual stimulation is in the variety it brings to the experience. By allowing your hands to roam her body in tandem with the movements of your tongue, you create a symphony of sensations. The inner thighs, for example, are highly sensitive and often overlooked, but by softly stroking or massaging this area, you can heighten her anticipation and pleasure. These gentle, careful touches not only amplify the arousal but also show that you're attentive to her entire being, not just one part of her body. This kind of detailed attention ensures that the experience is enjoyable from beginning to end and speaks to the depth of your care and respect for her pleasure. Additionally, using both your hands and mouth in harmony signals to her that you are fully present, and that you're taking the time to cherish her body as a whole. This mindful approach adds a level of intimacy that goes beyond the physical act. It's about making her feel valued, cared for, and completely immersed in the moment. The fourth essential tip to enhancing this intimate experience is complete stimulation and exploration. While it's tempting to focus solely on the clitoris and vulva due to their heightened sensitivity, expanding your touch to other parts of her body creates a fuller, richer experience. Complete stimulation means recognizing that pleasure doesn't exist in isolation within one area, but that the body is a network of interconnected erogenous zones that can all contribute to a deeply fulfilling experience. By expanding your focus to include other areas such as her neck, shoulders, and inner thighs, you awaken her entire body to pleasure, creating a more intense and holistic experience that feels much more engaging. Start by gently exploring her neck with soft kisses or gentle nibbling. The neck is an incredibly sensitive area, rich in nerve endings that respond beautifully to light, teasing touches. This zone is often forgotten in the heat of the moment, but it can be a powerful way to build arousal. A slow kiss along the curve of her neck, paired with soft caresses on her shoulders or upper arms, can send tingles down her spine and signal to her body that she's in for an immersive experience that isn't rushed or routine. From there, moves to her shoulders, a surprisingly sensitive area when treated with the right combination of touch and kisses. Gently massaging the tops of her shoulders or planting light kisses on them as your hands caress her sides can create a full-body engagement that feels nurturing and sensual. The slow, methodical stimulation of these areas not only builds anticipation but also deepens the emotional connection between you, reinforcing a sense of care and attentiveness that heightens overall pleasure. Her inner thighs are another key area to explore. These areas, often overlooked, are rich with nerve endings and can be incredibly sensitive to light touches, strokes, or kisses. Lightly running your fingertips along the inner thighs, while teasing with soft kisses, sends ripples of arousal throughout her body, increasing the overall pleasure and making her feel more desired. The proximity to her vulva without immediately focusing on it builds a tantalizing sense of anticipation that adds to the intensity of the moment. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. As you explore these areas, don't be afraid to alternate between gentle kisses, soft caresses, and firmer touches. The contrast between light and intense pressure creates a sensory experience that keeps her engaged and enhances the overall arousal. Remember, complete stimulation means being responsive to her body and attuned to how she reacts to each touch. Does she lean into your caress? Does her breathing quicken when you kiss her neck or thighs? These subtle cues will guide you in adjusting the intensity and rhythm, ensuring that the moment feels deeply personal and connected. Complete stimulation also invites you to explore other areas like her back, lower abdomen, or even her feet. Every woman is unique in what areas bring her the most pleasure, so this exploration phase is not just about physical touch, but about discovery and connection. By focusing on her entire body, you show her that you appreciate and cherish her whole being, not just isolated parts. This attention to her overall pleasure adds a level of emotional intimacy that deepens the bond between you, making the moment more profound. Finally, remember that the goal of complete stimulation is to create a flowing, continuous experience of pleasure that isn't centered on just one area. It's about awakening her body as a whole, gradually building arousal in a way that feels natural, unforced, and deeply connected. This attention to detail, this mindful exploration of her body, will not only enhance her physical pleasure but also create a sense of emotional closeness that turns the experience into something truly meaningful for both of you. By taking the time to incorporate these tips, whether through manual stimulation, diverse techniques, or complete body exploration, you can transform a physical act into a deeply intimate moment that leaves both of you feeling more connected, more fulfilled, and more in tune with each other than ever before. As we come to the end of this journey into deepening intimacy and connection, we hope you've gained valuable insights and tips that will enhance not just your physical relationship, but the emotional bond you share with your partner. What have you learned so far? We would love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned today that you plan to bring into practice in your own life. Your thoughts and experiences can help inspire others in their journey toward a more fulfilling and intimate relationship. If you enjoyed this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to continuing this journey of discovery with you.